Yeah, it's always fun. This is my 7th training camp, and
again, how much time did you give yourself? In other words, like, okay, so after the end of the season, you got all of January. What did you do all of January, Melvin?
I basically went to the beach and hung out with some friends and relaxed, and got some feeling back in the different party parts that I needed to get feeling back
got some
into.
feeling back. That sounds horrible.
It does, but it's rough playing offensive line, any kind of line position in the NFL, and I played every single play of every single game last year, so
yeah.
I was a little banged up, but I took a couple months, and I started back in March.
But back in March. Okay, so by then it's, you slowly start working back out again. Do you have a trainer, or do you have a system that you set up, or do the Bills set one up for you?
The Bills set it up, but I actually was in Arizona for a little bit, going to a training facility called Athletes Performance, where a lot of NFL players go, and a lot of Major League Baseball and NBA and you name it, any kind of professional athlete, they go there and train.
Right.
I take it membership's kind of high at that place.
It is pretty high. You look at a bill and you're like, what is this, like a government, government bill?
Yeah. These weight plates made of gold?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But it was a great experience. Actually, this is my first time going there since I came into the league. I went there to train before the draft around the combine time when I was coming out of college. But it was great. I did that for a little bit. Then I came back and trained with my teammates in Buffalo.
With us, here at Bill's training camp is Melvin Fowler. And we're sitting here after the practice wrapped up about 1 o'clock. Probably had a bunch of meetings all afternoon. Did you get dinner in before you came over here?
Actually, I did. We have a little bit of downtime. We didn't have meetings yet. We have meetings in about an hour and a half. But I actually went out and grabbed a little bit of lunch with Lee Evans and J.P. Lossman. We got away from it and got a chance to go get something to eat.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Melvin Fowler, the center of the Buffalo Bills, and he's, if you're thinking about it, as you're driving home and you're listening to Melvin, here we are at camp. It's the beginning of camp, and I got to figure people are still happy about the beginning of camp. I'd say 2 weeks into camp, people are miserable.
Especially the young guys. This is their first time experiencing training camp in the NFL, and they don't really know what to expect. But I'm sure it's a little bit faster than what they're used to, and a little bit grueling and a little bit tougher for obvious reasons because the competition's a little bit better. But for the older guys, it's like business as usual. Every year it gets a little bit easier, and just for the past 3 or 4 days, it's been a little bit easier than the past 3 or 4 days, say, the previous camps for myself personally.
So a guy like Leotis McKelvin, who was just signed, has got to be, sweating right
Yeah,
now.
like those guys, James Hardy, all those guys are like heads are spinning, making sure their assignments are right and they're in the right place at the right time, and they're not late for meetings, because now if they're late for meetings, they're going to get fined a couple $100 as opposed to in college, don't do that again, you know what I mean?
Right.
But we got a great bunch of rookies and a great bunch of new players, and I'm looking forward to this year.
Melvin Fowler is with us, center for the Buffalo Bills. We're here at Bills training camp. You brought up rookies getting yelled at, and I guess Turk Schoner came down on James Hardy at some point. He was supposed to read man coverage, and he read zone or something like that. So he got yelled at.
Right.
So is Turk because he's the new offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills? Is Turk a yeller?
He's not a yeller like you're used to, guys in your face, MF and you cursing you out. But if you don't do what you're supposed to do, he'll definitely let you know it.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess that's good. You don't want to push over as a coach.
No.
Oh, you fellas, you'll get it next time. Don't worry about it.
Do the rookies do they have more things that they have to do? I mean, is there any special treatment? I'm not talking about any hazing rituals or anything like that, but just to get them up to speed. Do they have extra meetings or anything different that they have to do?
I'm not sure about the other positions, but within the offensive line, the rookies meet a little bit longer than the rest of the offensive line. So, the veterans will leave, and then the rookies will stay about 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes to make sure that their assignments are strong and they know what they're doing.
Melvin Fowler's with us. Melvin's got this great story where, when you go to the NFL or when you're playing sports, mom is one place, dad is another place, but your parents have been, and it's a great story, his parents have been to every game, and that's cool that your parents still go to all the games. It's a good thing. But your parents come to training camp too?
They come to training camp too. Well, they're getting a little bit up there in the age, and they're basically around each other 24/7. So it's a little break for them, and I completely understand because they're both retired, and
right.
They're sitting around the house, 24/7. Nagging, going back and forth. So,
right.
training camp is a good outlet for them every year, and I don't mind it. You know, the guys like it. You know, the parents give them little words of wisdom, and you know, see how they're doing.
Are you kidding? That's an incredible thing. I'm sure all these guys wish they had their parents at training camp.
Definitely, and I'm very fortunate and very blessed to have, you know, have them to be there all the time for me.
Right.
Where do they live at? What area?
They're big time now. They go from Long Island, New York, where I grew up. They're coming from there now, but you know, when the season ends, they get on a plane and go to Arizona for their retirement house out there, and
nice.
they stay there for a couple months, and then
nice.
Yeah, they're big time.
That sounds like it. That's like Melvin Fowler's with the center for the Buffalo Bills. Now lining up at center.
I just want to say one thing on the parents.
Sure, go ahead.
You know, they got this place in Arizona now for the wintertime, and they're like, Mel, you think you could get with a team maybe that plays in a little bit warmer weather? You know, I mean, Minnesota.
The Cardinals are in Arizona. You know?
We tried that, but you know, when I was a free agent about 3 years ago, Buffalo was the best fit for me. And
well, if you think about it, right? Minnesota, Cleveland, Buffalo,
yeah.
You can't get out of the Northeast.
I can't get away from it. Actually, I wouldn't mind finishing my career here. My contract's up this year, but we'll see what happens.
Oh, that's right. Your contract's up this year. Have they been talking to you, by the way?
No.
What? What the hell's this? Oh, it's all Lee Evans at the moment, right? Well, Lee Evans or Jason Peters.
Jason Peters.
Yeah. What's the standard line on Jason Peters at the moment? Wish he was here, but what are you going to do?
Of course. I mean, I wish he was here. He's an unbelievable player, great person, and you know, hopefully everything will work out. But we definitely need him, and you know, we'll see what happens.
Well, you know, anybody knows, you know, offensive line, what a tough position. There's a lot of things that you have to know, and it probably hurts him to a little bit. I don't know. Has Turk Schoner changed the offense a lot?
No. Has he changed a lot? Not that much. You know, a couple of things here and there, but for the most part.
So whatever he knew last year probably could carry over to this year, Jason Peters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's a smart guy, and, you know, when he gets back, you know, he won't skip a beat.
Right. Melvin Fowler with us, center for the Buffalo Bills. Shred Ragan Show. We're here at Bills training camp at St. John Fisher College in Rochester. When you're lining up right now, it's across Marcus Stroud. And in order for the Bills to have this type of defense and, you know, fulfill some of the expectations of some of the younger guys, like playoffs, right. Marcus Stroud's got to be good. And what have you seen so far out of Marcus?
Just what I've seen playing against him for the past 5-6 years, and that's a tough, tenacious, physical player, and I'm glad he's on my team
right.
instead of me lining up having to block him on Sunday.
Sure, but right now you have to face him, right? Even in pads and all that.
Definitely.
So he looks good, right?
He looks good.
Wow. Well, and that was the problem last year with all those injuries on defense, right? But Leslie was out, and you know, so I mean,
we had a lot of guys step up and just basically be accountable, and it was a great thing because you know everyone wrote us off and. You know, because we were the highest injured team in the NFL, but we still were in position to make the playoffs.
Sure.
And you can't really credit that to conditioning at all, right? Because so many of them were broken bones and things like that. So
right.
it's not that the Bills had a bad conditioning program going in last year. It's
not at all. I mean, if anything, it just shows that our conditioning program was good because most of those were broken bones, and you know, the guys that stepped in and the guys that were healthy were clicking on all cylinders, and we were in every single game that we played in.
Right. Melvin Fowler joining us. We've been understanding from what we've heard so far in camp that Trent Edwards has been looking good. He's been hitting his passes.
He put on some weight, too.
He put on a little weight.
Bulked up a little bit.
But
yeah.
He's been good, right? What's your assessment of how everything's going on the offense so far?
I'm very pleased. You know, a lot of guys worked extremely hard in the offseason, myself included, and you know, we're looking pretty good. We have a long way to go, but, you know, we're a lot better off now than we were this time last year.
Right. Do you have a playoff prediction?
I don't usually predict, but, you know, we have something special here, and if we work extremely hard like we're doing, then sky's the limit.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting it. It's the best way to do it. Everybody else has made a playoff prediction. Why should he follow the pack? Right? Why? You know, you're actually standing out in the crowd. You know, Melvin hasn't made a playoff prediction as of yet. But camp is going well. Everybody seems to be. Everyone's healthy, and that's good to hear. And,
right.
Well, listen, just thanks for stopping by the trailer, Melvin. Have a good
Thanks
season.
for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
All right.
Good luck this year, man.
That's Melvin Fowler, center for the Buffalo Bills. And as far as we can tell, training camp going off just fine.